Welcome to Main Chat live stream. I am your host, Coach Trell. I have been natural for this year in August, October, somewhere around that time. It'll be 14 years that I've been on my natural journey. But these last 2 years, August 2022, when I found Curl Mix and the Curl Mix community, I truly began to embrace my natural hair, far as wearing it in its natural state, learning my hair, learning my texture, my density, my porosity, what my hair likes, far as leave-ins or moisturizers or cream. I found out so much information about my hair and how to care for it. I became a curl coach in the Curl Mix community, and that just further drove my passion. Hi, Patsy. It further drove and it really awakened my love for hair that I forgot about. I always said I wanted a hair salon, but I didn't want to work in it when I was younger. And I forgot all about that until I got on this journey. And so I help a lot of people in the Curl Mix community. A lot of you know me from the Curl Mix community. And I wanted to share this information to more than the curl mixers community, because not everyone is a curl mixer, but there are a lot of other naturals out here that is still struggling with their natural hair, caring for it, styling it, washing it, all of those things. And so I want to be that source that you guys can come to and rely on when you are having hair troubles, whatever that may look like. So I founded and created P.A.C.E Curly Coaching, where we embrace all types of curly texture hair with patience, acceptance, consistency, and education. Our mission is to empower you with confidence, self-love through our personalized care and guidance of unwavering support. And then P.A.C.E Curly Coaching is presenting you with main chats here tonight, every Wednesday, 8 p.m. Times may vary, but we'll keep you updated, where we empower you with tips, tricks, and truth about caring for your natural hair. And whether you are a newbie, a seasoned natural, or somewhere in between, you find a little inspiration, education, and hopefully a little laughter along the way. So that is my introduction. Welcome to Main Chats. If you have any questions, please put them in the comments. Just a disclaimer, I am a natural hair coach. I am not a cosmetologist. I am not a licensed cosmetologist or anything of that nature. I am sharing my experience of my personal journey, as well as educational resources that I have read and studied to help me share the information that I am sharing with you, as well as learning from others. I feel like as a community, we learn about our hair because other people is sharing their journey and experiences with us. They're telling us their wins, they're telling us their lows, they're telling us the almostes, and we take some of the information because we may be all having the same struggle. And so the approach may be different, but someone sharing their struggle, I'm like, well, hey, I started deep conditioning. I don't do that. Maybe I should start doing it. And that can be the one thing that makes your journey that much easier. So sharing is caring. So all of the information that I am learning, that I have learned from other coaches that have come before me and after, as well as my own experience and education, I share that with you all here on Main Chat. So last week, we talked about our scalp health and how our scalp health is the foundation for how our hair grows internally and through the scalp and on our hair. So if you did not catch that episode, no worries. It is still on the timeline in the Main Chat event group. Excuse me. And you can catch the replay. So tonight we are, y'all, I got to keep my screen lit because it'll black out. So hopefully y'all can still see me. So if you are just joining, let me know where you are checking in from on wherever you are from. Let me know where you're checking in from. We were talking about what we were sipping on tonight. I have some red wine, some water, and some gummy bears. So tonight, again, we are talking about our sebaceous glands and how that affects our hair dryness as well as our scalp health. Okay, let me make sure. All right. So let's talk about the role of our sebaceous glands. So our sebaceous glands is what produce sebum. We talked about sebum last week. Sebum is the production of our own natural oil that that we produce on our scalp and our skin. Every part of our body produces sebum except for the palm of our hands and the sole of our feet because there are no hair follicles there. So that is what our sebaceous gland does. It produces our sebum, which moisturizes our scalp and skin with our natural oils. Our healthy scalp generates about an ounce of sebum every 100 days. So a healthy scalp. Y'all give me 1 second. Now, y'all, I pre-warned them and told them I was getting ready to go live and told them to stop with the noise. We're gonna have a chat after this. All right, so yes, so a healthy scalp, healthy, generates about an ounce of sebum every 100 days. So, let's talk about how our sebum functions when it comes, like the function of sebum and how what it's made of. So sebum is a mixture of fatty lipids, glycerides, yeah, I think I said that right, fatty acids, wax esters, squalane, and cholesterol. So that's a combination of different fatty lipids that makes up sebum. So it's a lot of waxy, squishy stuff. That's what it sounds like. And so sebum conditions our hair and skin and act as a moisture barrier. Yeah, I cannot talk. I cannot talk right now. So we've talked about, or we know that we try to create a barrier over our strands to help lock in moisture. So sebum is that natural oil barrier that we naturally produce. But we're going to keep discussing because we'll talk about how that affects our dryness. Leading into that, as a natural of 14 years, and then a newly informed, more educated natural, most of my natural journey prior to 2 years ago, I suffered from dry hair. And if you are one of those individuals that prior to your regimen now and your hair journey, put in the comments dry if you've ever suffered from dry hair, or maybe you are currently suffering from dry hair, and this information is really going to help center you in the right direction of how to combat that. So most of my hair journey, I suffered from dry hair. It was dry, it was brittle, and it was just the worst to want to have to deal with. So we're not alone, but again, I think it goes back to us not being informed and educated. So we all suffered. Where did I leave off at? So as a black community of natural hair women, most of us can probably say that we suffer from natural hair. From dry natural hair. And some of it is not our fault. It could be our genetics. Genetic plays a factor in our low sebum production. If you're someone who does not produce an ounce every 100 days, maybe you're producing less. So you'll probably encounter more dryness, and that can be from a genetic factor. It could be from hormones. Excuse me, y'all. It could be from hormones. So that's a conversation that you would have with your doctor. It could be your diet, what you're consuming, what you're eating. Last week we talked about the importance of the things that we put in our body and how it affects us externally. It could be stress. It could be medications. And for our younger folks, it could be puberty. So those are some factors that could affect our sebum levels or making us produce less. And then we think about our natural textured hair. Our hair does not just, it's not straight. So our hair, it actually curls and coils, and there's so many different patterns that, you're bound to have more than one curl pattern on your head. So you may have some that coil, kind of like the old telephone cords that coil like this. You may have some that's more of an S shape. It's more looser. You may have some deeper waves, some deeper S patterns. So there's different patterns. But when you think about the production of sebum that starts, comes out of our scalp, when the hair is straight, the sebum can easily travel down the hair strand. So those individuals with straight hair or naturally straight hair, or their hair is, chemically pressed or heat pressed, the sebum or the oil will transfer smoothly down their hair strand compared to someone that has a tight coil. The sebum is hard for it to reach down the strand and then coil around. So most of us probably are getting, probably a little bit past the root, and then once it starts to coil, it's having a hard time transferring down the hair. So with that being said, that's natural oil is not traveling, and if we're not supplementing or putting something on it, our hair, it becomes dry. So that leads to dryness by it not being able to spread evenly down the hair strand. Let's check the comments. So those are our dry scalp concerns and issues and factors that we may encounter in the black hair natural community. Simone said, mine used to be dry, but since learning about hydration with water and after watching Curl Mix coaches, it's much better. I'm so happy to hear that, Miss Simone. And I commend you for sticking through the process and trusting the process, and trusting yourself and your hair to, rethink the way that you thought about things, to rethink the way you loved your hair, embrace your hair, how you cared for your hair, and implementing those new factors and techniques that now you're on a healthier, thriving hair journey, and you're no longer suffering from dry hair. And if you were to, you know how to combat it. So I am proud of you, and thank you for joining the community, and thank you for joining my live tonight. So some other factors that can affect us having dry hair, it can be self-induced scalp dryness. So we talked about, there are things that are out of our control as far as our genetics. That's out of our control. Our hormones, in a way, is out of our control, but working with your doctor, your dietitian, working with a professional when it comes to hormone stress, medication, diet, there's always a professional in mostly every area of our life. So working with those individuals can help you live a different or healthier lifestyle. But then there are some things that, we do on our own that could be factoring us having dry hair, like product buildup. Using heavy oils, greases, butters, pomades on the scalp can clog the pores and disrupt the scalp health. So there is conversation about using oils and butters on your hair. I think that we should be using oils and butters on our hair. Maybe not the oils and butters, heavy oils and butters on our scalp, because if we are and we're not cleansing regularly, then you create product buildup on your scalp, and then your pores become clogged, and by your pores becoming clogged, the hair follicle cannot come through the scalp like it should, because it is clogged, and now you're creating a unhealthy environment on your scalp, as well as that new strand of hair that is coming through. So we have to think about what we're doing and the why, and the solution of, okay, I need this oil on my scalp because I'm not producing enough, or whatever that may be for you. But then the question is, okay, I know that it can cause this. What am I going to do, or what can I do to prevent this from happening? So product buildup from the oils, the butters, the greases, the pomades can clog the pores, which can disrupt your scalp health. As I was sharing, when we have clogged pores on our scalp, it hinders that natural flaking process, which we talked about on last week, about scalp health. It disrupts that natural flaking that leads to dryness, inflammation, and it reduces your hair's quality. So those are the cons of a clogged scalp. All right, I'm gonna take a drink of water. My throat getting dry. So when we talk about the product buildup, we talked about it coming from the oils and the butters and the greases. But did you know that sebum can also build up on your hair and scalp and create blockage? So sebum is a natural product. So when we talk about product buildup, we can also include sebum in there, which can harden. The sebum hardens when it mixes with the skin cells, the natural flaking. The flaking of the scalp plus the sebum hardens, creates buildup on the hair and scalp, and blocks the hair follicles. So how to avoid that? Oh, I'm jumping ahead of myself. So the blocked hair follicles from the hardening of the sebum and the scalp's natural flaking process, it can block the follicles, and by blocking our hair follicles, it can shrink the follicle, leading to itchiness, irritation, and a weaker hair strand. Because as the hair is trying to exit to the scalp, it's obstructed, and so it's pushing its way through, which means it won't be as strong as it would have if it had an easier pathway. So those are just some of the examples of how product buildup, as well from sebum buildup on our scalp, can affect the quality of the hair strand. So how can we avoid this from happening? I'm so glad you asked. Routine cleansing and conditioning. I think that is another one of those hair myths. that we're learning to let go as we unlearn some of the misinformation we have learned about our hair. But regular and routine cleansing and conditioning, my model is 7 days, every 7 days, no more than 10. Like, we should be washing our hair at least every 7 days, no longer than 10. And you may wash sooner than 7 days if you're really on a path to increasing your hydration levels. But ideally, 7 to 10 days. Cleansing, conditioning, that routine, that will give you a healthy balance for your hair and your scalp health. Avoiding heavy oils that obstruct the scalp's natural flaking process. So, I think I missed something. Oh, nope, I'm getting into that right now. Okay, so avoiding heavy oils. So that's a whole different that's a whole different main chat conversation that will come later as we get into like products. Right now I want us to we're building a foundation. So we'll get to that. But there are different levels and heaviness of oils. And then there are very lightweight oils. There are oils like jojoba oil, argan oil, coconut oil that mimics sebum. So it's very lightweight. So that type of oil is great if you need to put something on your hair. But using more heavier oils like olive oil or I'm trying to think, mineral oil, petroleum oil, like those oils, they're not great for your hair. And once they get on your hair, and if you don't wash and cleanse regularly, it can not just clog your pores, your scalp pores, but it can also clog your hair strands. And it's just one of those things that you want to avoid. So yes, there are better oils to put on your hair versus some of the stuff that's on the shelves that we should not be putting in our hair. So but we'll get into product information, ingredients, and things like that, and later on down the line. But we're talking about how to maintain a healthy, balanced scalp. For those that have low sebum production and you need to put something on there, you want to use a light oil like a jojoba oil. And all oils are not made the same. So understanding what an organic oil is versus a natural oil or a pure oil. So using the best quality ingredients that you can. I'll put it there. Lightweight oils that are natural and organic quality is where you want to go at. And when you are applying these oils to your scalp, you do it in moderation. I mean, too much of anything is bad. So, just moderate your application. But ultimately, at the end of the day, I trust that you know what is best for your hair. Our hair talks to us. When you have a relationship, go back to the very first episode. We talked about that relationship with our hair. When you have a relationship with your hair will tell you what it like, what it don't like, what it need, what it don't need, when I need a treatment, when the treatment is too much. It will tell you all of these things, but you have to build that relationship. So I hope that as you continue to come back to main chat, you go back and review the replays, that you're able to start putting information together and start to explore your hair and begin to love on it and, try to embrace it. And, at that point, you feel like, no, I want to do this, but this is just too much. That is why I created this platform, Coach Trell, P.A.C.E Curly Coaching and Main Chat, so that you will have that space to be like, hey, I think I need your assistance. I'm trying to learn my hair, but it's just not clicking. And we can work together as I help you on your journey to your hair. So that's what I am here for. So that is my presentation of our sebaceous glands and how it works with the dryness of our hair as well as our scalp health. Um, Not most, all of the things that I've shared can it's not information that like I just pull from out of anywhere. A lot of this information can be found on Google. So, if there's something that, I didn't know that. I always say do your due diligence. You never should take what one person says at face value. Not saying that I would intentionally come on here and lie to you all. But we all know that we, in the world of fake information, we should always double check our sources, our information to make sure, because you just never know. And I wouldn't want to lead you guys on the wrong path. So all of this information can be researched and Googled, and have been reading I don't have it up here with me, but this natural black hair book, and it just talks about how to care for black hair. A lot of great resources and information. Hey RJ, thank you for joining. You kind of just missed the whole presentation, so but thank you for joining. But yes, so that's our presentation on sebaceous glands. If you did not catch last week's replay on scalp health, then I definitely recommend that you start there, because we're building a foundation, and you can't build a house. You can't build the house and start with the roof. You got to start from the bottom. And so the best way for us to go on this learning education journey together is to start from the bottom. And so last week was scalp. Today we're talking about sebaceous glands, sebum, scalp dryness, in relation to having a healthy scalp. And then the very first episode, we talked about loving our hair, embracing our hair, being an advocate for our hair. All of those things that we are going to need to go through this journey. So I appreciate you all. If you have any questions, please drop them in the chat for me. And so for next week, give y'all a little teaser. What we're going to be talking about next week. So we're going to talk about our hair structure. So if you are one of those individuals that are watching this and you be like, what does she mean by I need to get to know my hair? What does that mean? Then you definitely want to tune in next week, because we're going to talk about hair structure. And I would not be right if I go into this without giving Coach Janet Smith from the Curl Mixers community her flowers. She introduced to us the acronym D steps, and it's DSTEPS, and those D steps talks about the different properties of our hair. So we talk about getting to know your hair. What are your D steps? And so our D steps, if you are watching this live, because I see that I have 8 viewers. Hey y'all. Before I announce what the D steps is, somebody put it in the chat. Let me see what you know. Let me see, was you paying attention during masterclass? And I think everyone that I seen that comment is definitely masterclass participants. So let me see, what are the D steps? Coach Janet told us the D steps. What are the D steps? Give y'all a few minutes. I know sometimes the stuff be delayed. So I'm going to give y'all a few minutes. But next week we're going to take, after steps 1 and 2, we detangle, right? Do we comb after steps 3 and 4? Miss Simone, are you answering my question about the D steps? Or are you asking about steps 1 through 4 from the Master's Collection? I'll let you know how my wash and go turns out on Friday. I'm learning my hair. I'm determined not to flat iron my hair during this transition phase. I haven't been through a masterclass, so eager to learn. Oh, I can't. Miss Wanda, your hair looks great. Your hair looks great. And just being consistent, just go. You sent me the 21 steps that we went through during your wash day live. Go back to those steps and do exactly what you were doing. You're doing great. So I would even throw out the whole flat iron mindset, because you're doing beautiful on this journey. And masterclass was supposed to kick off for March, but Curl Mix is going to postpone it a little bit longer. And so when masterclass starts back, definitely go ahead and sign up for it. But remember, we still do our ambassador lives at least 3 to 4 days out of the week. The times vary, but you can always go back and catch the replays. They're very informative. They're not as in depth as the masterclass, but it still gives you that visual. So definitely catch those. She said, no, I'm asking. After steps 1 and 2, we detangle, right? So step 1, you're cleansing. Step 2 is your conditioning and then detangling. And do we comb after step 3 and 4? That is a personal preference. And the reason why I say that, because every hair type and texture will do something different. My texture hair at this length, if I comb it, it's going to make it more coilier. Like as you see, like my curls is already there are coils in the back. And I actually did comb them the first time I styled my hair with a 3-row comb. The curls were tighter. When my hair was longer, and if I would apply, like use a comb or a brush to comb through it once I've applied steps 3 and 4, it made it frizzier. That was for my hair. I have seen other curl mixers and coaches that have looser hair that can use a brush, and it makes their curls tighter, but it doesn't create that functional frizz. I've seen other hairstylists, like on YouTube or Instagram, use a tool and the curls, look great. So I think that's one of those things that you'll have to experiment to try to see what that looks like for you, and if you are pleased with that look. If you're pleased with it, then absolutely use a comb or a tool. If you don't like it, maybe you could try something different, or maybe after you use the tool, do more smoothing. I don't know, but that's one of those things that you'll have to try out. So try it out and let us know how it worked out for you. So maybe some of us feel inspired to do it on our own. She said, yes, I learned so much just watching those lives. Yes, the ambassador lives are great. They are absolutely amazing. And you're getting exposed to so many products. So if you are a newbie coming in, learning wash and goes and the master's collection, and you may be like, oh my god, this is a lot of products, like why do I need so much? And you don't. But this is for the advanced OG curl mixers who we need to be in AA meetings, like literally. Um, but no one answered my question about D steps. Patsy, put in the comments. I know you should know what's the D steps. Miss RJ, if you are watching, you should know the D steps. Miss Gloria, you should know D steps. Miss Janice, you should know D steps. I want to see you guys put in the comments what are the D steps before I log off. We need to know what the D steps is, and if you are trying to learn your hair, rather you I highly encourage you to document your journey, whether you're writing it on a piece of paper in your journal, whether you're putting it in your text notes in your phone, you're using the Crown Chronicles hair journaling app that one of our curl friends from the Curl Mixers community, she actually created the hair journal app because she saw there was a need for it, and there were some out there, but you couldn't put pictures in them. And so with hers, you can put your pictures in there, you can rate it, you can put your products. If you're a curl mixes, it's already what's the word, pre-filled or pre-generated. That's the word. It's already pre-generated with a lot of curl mixers products in there. But you can put your notes, you can put how long it took you to dry. You like, it's so helpful and beneficial. So if you're trying to learn your hair and you're just starting, this is what you need. This is what you where you should be starting from. So Miss Simone says she don't know the details. All right. So get your pens and paper. This is your first official note that you should be writing down what the D steps is, and then you're going to observe your hair, and you're going to fill in your D steps because we all have different D steps. So D is for density, and density in layman's terms, basically how thick or thin your hair is. Scientifically, it's how many strands of hair you have like per square inch. So if you were to like part off a square inch of your hair, they're looking to see how many strands in there. If there are a thinner amount of strands, meaning that you can see your scalp, that would fall on the low density side. Then you have some that are medium density, which I classify myself, where my hair is not thin where you can see my scalp, but it's not extremely thick either. So you have normal hair, I don't want to say normal hair strands, but you have a normal general amount of hair per square inch where it's not too thin, it's not too thick. And then you have high density hair where you part the hair and you got to still struggle to find the part, and it's like so much hair in this one little space. That is considered, that's your density. So how thick or thin your hair is measured in the number of strands per square inch. So that is your D. And I know how my brain is, and I need to write this down because I'm gonna be like, where I left off at? So excuse me. So D is for density. S is for your structure. Your structure. So you can, the best way to describe your structure is your curl pattern. Your curl pattern. Do you have coils? And so one of the things that we don't do in the curl mixers community, and it's something that I'm going to say out loud on this platform, is I don't curl type. Like, my curl type is healthy hair. Now, some people want to, I'm a 4A, 3B, 1C, XYZ. Like, that's, to me, that's too much. Like, we got textured curly hair. They come in different curls. So, do you have a coil where it's really tight? Do you have the loose curl, the loose pattern where it's like the S shape, or do you have the Z, or are they like huge big S waves? Like, that's your structure. That's what your curl pattern looks like. And you may have more than one curl pattern in your hair. The back of my hair, my curls are tighter, And before I got my hair cut, my front was like looser. So if you've been following my journey, then you can see the difference in what it is now. So now I have more coils in the front versus looser waves, if that makes sense. So S is your structure, parentheses, curl pattern. If you want to go look at the hair type chart and put what your curl type is, by all means, go ahead. All right, that was S. T is your texture. Texture. So when we think about texture, we texture is thought of as the feel. So the texture is your hair strand. Is it fine? And so how I learned how to identify my texture as because texture and structure, there's like a lot of information in there. So these are the things. Do you have fine strands? And when I say a fine strand, if you don't pull a piece of hair out, but just look at some shed hair. When you look at that strand of hair, is it so thin or fine that you can barely see it? Like it's just very light. I was told to compare my hair strand to a piece of thread. Thread is pretty thick. If your hair strand is smaller diameter wise than the piece of thread, you have fine hair. Most of us have fine hair. Um, then you have coarse hair. Coarse hair is very thick hair, and it's probably almost as thick as a piece of thread or falls somewhere in between. And I didn't realize the difference in texture until I touched like my hair compared to my husband's hair. Men naturally have coarser hair than women. I learned that along my study. Men naturally have coarser hair than women. But this I learned I discovered this, well, not this that part. I discovered my husband hair was very coarse compared to mine, because when I went to take his hair out of the brush and he left it, I was like, oh, why I feel like that? like literally, I was like, oh, why I feel like that? And it was so rough. And not because it was just shed hair, like even when I touch his hair, like you can feel how thick his hair strands are. So when you think about your texture of your hair strand, is it fine? Then you have medium, which is kind of in the middle. I guess that would be like the average. And then you have coarse hair. And so it's thicker strands, and as your hair loses the melanin, which is the color, you and the hair turns gray, it becomes more coarse. So that's the texture. And then you have the surface texture. That's the surface texture is the look and feel of it. So your surface texture, it could feel cottony, and yeah, I got to remember to keep touching the screen. So I don't know what that look like. I'm gonna have to go look at the replay and see what the screen looks like when I forget to move the mouse. You can have a cottony surface texture, so we know what cottony feels like. You could have is cottony. Oh my goodness. See, I didn't write this down because I wasn't prepared to talk about this. You can have a cottony surface texture, a wool like surface texture. So you know what wool feels like. It's kind of very like dryish or thick. I'm gonna imagine that's what like coarse hair felt like, because that's what my husband's hair felt like. So that's the touch and the feel of the hair. I have to go back and look because I wrote that down somewhere, and I got to go back and refresh my memory. But there's different type of surface textures, and then we know that when our hair is in a straight form, it reflects light more, so it looks more shinier than your natural curly hair. So you may have a matte surface texture, meaning that's the look of the hair. It don't look like it's soft and fluffy. It looks like it's dry, but when you touch it, you're like, oh, my hair actually feels really good and it's moisturized. Like I can feel the moisturization in my hair strand. So, um, that's a matte surface texture. Think about like a matte lipstick. Like it doesn't shine and gloss, but it's still, um, yep, you can have a silky surface texture, and so silky, soft, just kind of glide through. So there's different surface textures. So that's the T. So we said density, our structure, which is our curl pattern. Then you have your texture. Okay, E is elasticity. Okay, so elasticity, that's the bounce back. You see when I pull this curl, it bounced back. That's elasticity. When you pull your hair strand and it bounces back, that's a sign of healthy hair. I know we talk about shrinkage, and that's a whole nother episode, but shrinkage is a sign of healthy hair. If you pull your hair strand and it just stay out like this, and then it gradually spring back, you need some protein. That's a whole nother conversation, whole nother show, but that's what elasticity is. It's the bounce back. It's the spring back. That's healthy. That's where shrinkage comes from. We apply like heating tools like flat irons. We're breaking those bonds of our elasticity, and they become damaged, and that's how we become having heat damage, and then the curl has no bounce back. But that's your elasticity. P is your porosity. I feel like porosity is important in our hair journey, especially very early on. Some stylists I've heard say it's not important unless you're getting color, but I disagree. And the reason why I disagree is because if you're on this natural journey, you're trying to get your hair hydrated, and we say go in the shower and wash your hair, and you just rinse it with the shower head, or you stand under there and then you go to apply your shampoo, and you're like, it's not doing anything. Your porosity lets you know how your hair absorbs the water. So for us that had very, very dry hair, our hair wasn't absorbing the water. We would spray it on there, and you'd be like, this water ain't doing nothing. Because your cuticles are closed and the water ain't went in there. So you can have low porosity, meaning it takes forever for your hair to get wet. So those are the people that we encourage to soak your hair, pre-soak your hair, rinse your hair for that 10, 15 minutes, sometimes even 20, just depending on the state and condition of your hair. But rinsing your hair, allowing the water to really soak into your strands and weigh your hair down. Those people with low porosity, it's gonna take forever. But as your journey progress, it won't take as long, and next thing you know, you run the water through your hair, give it about 5 minutes, and your hair fully soaked, and you can go to shampooing. Then you have people with a normal porosity. That's where I'm at. I started off low. It took forever. Now I can rinse my hair for 45 minutes, and I can move on into my wash day routine. Then you have people with high porosity, meaning that as soon as they put their hair under the water, it's soaking wet, it's drenching. It's like, oh my god, my hair is full of water. And the moment they come from under the water, their hair is bone dry. Their cuticles is open to receive the water, but they stay open and it let the water right on back out. So those are individuals that usually that's probably chemically relaxed. They may be color treated. They may have been using some products that wasn't great for their hair. that, you know, open their cuticles wide open. It could be overstripping of shampoo, using the wrong type of shampoo on a consistent basis. Like, there's different things that can cause you to have high porosity hair, and it can reverse and become normal porosity. One of our girlfriends, I know, she started off saying she had high porosity hair and this, and I think she's been on her curl mix journey. I think she started a few months before I did, but when I started learning about porosity and how, well, I knew of porosity, but when I started to learn about how different products play a role in porosity and pH levels and different things like that, I was like, oh, she said she had high porosity hair, and then she been using curl mix for this extended amount of time, and all of curl mix products are, they have low pH, meaning they're great for high and low porosity hair. So I was like, have you noticed a difference in your porosity since you started? And she was like, I don't know, I didn't think about it. And then she was like, I have. Like, you know, so you can reverse your porosity. And it can be reversed by either bringing in like chemicals or treatment, color treatments or relaxers or things like that. Or it could be using products that have high pH levels in it. But you can reverse it. But that's porosity. Again, that's a whole nother episode. Y'all gonna get me going. And then after the P, the last one is S, which is our scalp moisture. Going back to scalp. So, how much sebum does your scalp produce? Is it overproducing? And so one of the things we learned was to get like a piece of tissue, something white, Kleenex, and, you know, part your hair and take it and kind of like damp your scalp and see how much oil is on your scalp. And so that'll let you know if you're overproducing, if you're underproducing, or if you have a normal amount. So that's your scalp moisture. So those are your D steps: density, structure, texture, elasticity, porosity, scalp moisture. So if you do not know those things, write them down. And as we go through our week to week educational about learning our natural hair, you should be able to fill that in as well. Like, this is not something that you can read on a piece of paper and be like, oh, I got low porosity hair. Like, you're going to have to start building that relationship with your hair. When you're in the shower, how does your hair respond the moment you put it under the shower? How does your hair respond when you come from under the shower? How does your hair respond when you are putting your stylist on? So these are all the things that you are observing of your hair as you care for it. And then once you start to learn it, you know its behavior, then you'll know when something is off. You'll be like, oh, my hair, something ain't right. Something ain't right. Like this, like, I have this area right here of my hair. Whenever I put moisturizer there, it's like I cannot work that moisturizer in. Like, it just will not go in. This part of my hair needs a deeper cleanse than the rest of this. Why, I don't know, but those my edges. I done wreak havoc on my edges, y'all, over the years. And so now I'm in a space where I'm trying to rehab them and do all of the right thing. I'm trying to do right by my edges. And, you know, I have to just do what this side needs. So I have to spend more time cleansing here. I may have to just use a different shampoo just for this particular section. Like, once you learn your hair, you'll start to pick up on different things. When you're detangling, like, oh, detangling was a breeze, and now, like, why am I spending so much time here? Why am I getting these knots? Why do my strands feel like this? Like, literally, when I'm in the shower, and this is the thing that y'all don't get to see when I go live in the shower, is because I really be trying not to be there all day. But I'm very thorough when it comes to my hair. So I'm feeling like I'm feeling my strands, and I can have like this much hair in my hand, and I'm smoothing, and I can feel like a little bump, which usually is like a fairy knot, but I can feel it. And so I will feel through every strand until I find that strand, because I know that fairy knot that's on that strand, it ain't healthy. So I need to get rid of it. Like, I'm not going to leave it there. But that's the relationship that I have with my hair. Like, I can feel through it. I'm like, oh, they got to go. So that's how I knew that I needed a haircut, because it was just like my hair just was not doing what I know it should have been doing, and it wasn't growing. It was growing, but it wasn't retaining the length that I needed it to retain, like it did the year before. And the only thing that I did differently was I wasn't on top of my trims. And by me not staying on top of my trims, the dead ends, they traveled. The splits, they traveled. They went higher, and I cut some off, but they was like, nah, girl, you ain't get all of us. And it kept traveling. I was like, you know what? We just gonna. I didn't big chop, but I chopped off enough. So, learn your hair. I just said a whole bunch. I was supposed to be over here by 8 o'clock. 9 o'clock. Yep, I'm an hour. I'm 4 minutes over. I'm trying to keep it at an hour, but I did tell y'all that if the conversation good, we'll go over, but no longer than 30 minutes. But those are your D steps: density, structure, which is your curl pattern, and there may be multiple. Your texture, the look and feel of your hair, the elasticity, the porosity, and your scalp moisture. Those are the things. Yeah, I just got the gummy sitting in my hand. Now my hand all sticky. Those are the things that you should be filling in when you're observing your hair, in a wet state and in a dry state. Okay? Y'all have any more questions, concerns? Patsy said, okay, love this. Thank you. Paying better attention. Hi, Ivy. So, yes. That is what I have for you guys tonight. Oh, thank you, Miss Wanda. Thank you for viewing. Please don't forget to share the live. Be sure you are following this page, Coach Trell Curls, on Instagram. Of course, here on Facebook. I'm thinking about, if I was to do a live on TikTok, would y'all come over there? Because, don't get me wrong, doing this, I absolutely love it. But, you know what, doing this is always about the views and the numbers and all of that. And so, TikTok, they got a lot of challenges with going live that I can actually like make money off of views and lives and interaction. And I'm already doing it here, but a lot of my followers, you all, are not possibly on TikTok. So, I'm thinking about possibly doing a live on TikTok, but I don't know. I don't really know the people over there. And I've been trying to get to know them, but I get the most engagement here on Facebook. But of course, I would like to be monetized for, just saying. But yeah. So I'm on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok. I do have a YouTube channel. I haven't posted any new content up there. I'm actually trying to figure out because I do this on Facebook Live, but I'm trying to figure out how can I record it still and put it on YouTube. And one of the things, I'm going to have to stop looking at this camera and look straight ahead, but then I'm going to try to feel like I'm not, I don't want y'all to feel like I'm not looking at y'all, but I'm looking at the other camera behind me. So, yeah. So, main chat, P.A.C.E curly coaching. We coming along. Y'all be patient with us, but just putting it out there. We'll see how that goes. But I do thank y'all for joining. Miss Gloria say I don't do TikTok. Listen, so I know what my audience is, and I'm going to where my audience is, and I know that with God's timing, these views and all of the stuff that I want to do and I would love that I will see manifest within this, it's going to happen over time. And so I ain't even worried about it. But yes, so that is all I have for you all tonight. I will see you guys next Wednesday, same time, same place, different chats. Um, yeah, so don't forget to follow if you need that one-on-one support. If you need, like Coach Trell, I don't even have a hair routine. I don't know what products to use. Like, I'm just lost. Like, I need you to hold my hand and walk me through this. I got you. Right now, the best way to contact me is just direct messaging me. I'll get back to you. I'm going to say within 24 hours, but depending on what time of day you hit me up, I might hit you back instantly. Um, but yeah, so I am here for you all. I am your natural hair coach. You guys, and the reason I say you guys, because all of you all that are watching, most of you all know me from the Curl Mixes community. You guys gave me the title Coach Trell when Curl Mix allowed me to coach their masterclass, and you guys called me Coach Trell and gave me the title, and I am so honored and I'm so appreciative. So I am your coach. I want to help you succeed on your natural hair journey. We will help you succeed as a community. I will always direct you to the masterclass. Go to Curl Mix 21 Day Masterclass, although it's on pause right now. But we will be back. But in the meantime, I am here. I am available. And yeah, so let's chat. So thank you all again for joining me. Please share my live tonight. Thank you guys for commenting and supporting me. I really appreciate it. I'm about to go ahead and sign off and get ready for bed and have some dinner. Finish my glass of wine. And I will see you beautiful people on the next one. Remember, don't be hard on yourself. Don't be hard on your hair. Give yourself grace. Give the process grace. Remember that whatever you're doing to your hair, think about what you've been doing to it for the last few years. Give your hair grace. We gonna get there. It's gonna get there. You gotta be patient. We have to accept what is going on with our hair. Come up with a plan. Whatever that plan is, be consistent. Be consistent. And then we're educating ourselves. That's what we're doing. That's all it takes. Like, those are the fundamentals. Those are the fundamentals. Once we get the fundamentals, then we can continue to build on that. But I pray you all have a good night. Thank you guys for joining me. Share the live. Follow me on all social platforms. And I will see you on the next one.